Garrett is joining us, ABC News crime and terrorism analyst. He's always here for us when things go down, and we're talking about a couple of things, and that is that shooting in Baton Rouge. There is now videotape of these police officers shooting this man who, Alton Sterling is the man's name, who was shot several times after he was being held on the ground. A couple of videos have surfaced. Brad Garrett, what are your thoughts as you see this go down in Baton Rouge?
Well, on the surface, McGraw, if you only look at the video, it doesn't appear to be, a good situation for the police officers. However, we don't know really the totality here. The question is, I guess one of the officers yells he's got a gun, of which one witness at least described that there was a gun laying beside him. But I think the same witness said he or she didn't see Mr. Sterling pull the gun. It was in his pocket, apparently. So, you really have to go to when can you use deadly force. It's when it's being used against you or others, basically. So did the officers believe that he was going to shoot them? I don't know. But there's a lot of sort of unknown sketchiness about this that on the surface, as I mentioned earlier, is a bit disconcerting.
So, the experts will break down the video, and we'll learn more when the experts sort of like you guys break it down. But to the untrained eye, it looks like they had the man subdued. They had the man sort of on the ground with his hands. It wasn't like the man was in a position to hurt them, and then the officer takes out the gun. It seems to me, to the untrained eye, that the officers used clearly excessive force.
Well, it certainly would appear that on the surface, McGraw, because, yes, he's on the ground. If you have any control at all of either or both arms in some form or fashion, how's he going to get to a gun? Now, you're attempting at some point to search because the lookout was that he had threatened somebody with a gun. So your expectations as the two uniforms showing up is, hey, this guy may have a gun. So as you roll up on him and then you get into this tussle with him, you're still thinking, where is that gun that was reported? And that's all good. I mean, you should be thinking that. But, the question is, when does emotion and maybe testosterone take over to the sort of logic of what is in front of you? Now, you're wrestling the guy, you're on the ground. That creates its own set of, excitement in any of us if you have to deal with that. But, the key is, how far do I need to go to subdue this guy? And then to shoot him multiple times, that's the other sort of really concerning part of this. I mean, maybe I get if he pulled a gun, they shot him once. Do you shoot a guy on the ground multiple times? I don't know. That's going to have to play out.
Brad Garrett, you're a former FBI man. What are your thoughts as you watch James Comey hold the news conference, and now I guess he's going to testify in front of the House today? What are your thoughts as you watch all this?
Well, quite unusual. I mean, I think it may be the first time the FBI director basically goes in front of the U.S. attorney or the attorney general to announce, FBI findings. So that part of it is unusual. Maybe there's some separation going on here since Loretta Lynch had this situation with President Clinton. So maybe have the FBI take the front part of this. I don't know. Sort of to keep it separate, but I thought he was very articulate about what they found. Was not happy with Secretary Clinton and or her staff's behavior as far as classified information is concerned, and was not bashful about spelling that out.
Yeah, there have been many people who might disagree with the decision, but have come to the defense of James Comey, saying he is the ultimate in stand-up guy, and he is beyond reproach, and he has a pristine reputation. Where do you fall in that category?
I think that's right. I mean, he's a guy that I think would quit and threatened to do so back, remember, in the Ashcroft scenario, trying to get Ashcroft to sign a document when he was still in the hospital by President Bush's folks, Gonzales, etc. So, I think he is a stand-up guy. He's going to do what he thinks is right. And I think this was probably the right call for him to get up because, he's not the final say. The U.S. Attorney and the Attorney General are the final say. But I think it shows, look, we, the FBI, independently looked at all these emails, ones that we received, and then ones she voluntarily gave them that State Department didn't have. And they spent their time, said they're not going to be driven by politics. It's taken us this long to get through all those emails, and I believe him in that regard. I just think it was the right thing to do. Probably not great timing for Secretary Clinton, but that's just how it goes.
Brad Garrett, ABC Crime and Terrorism Analyst. Brad, thanks for checking in.
Take care, McGraw.
625, Big 5.